Okay, we got it going again. Got it going again. All right, that gives me 30 seconds. All right. Got 30 seconds. Crap. 30 seconds is already up. Refresh this page. Go, that's up. Okay, that one's live. Okay, that one's live. This one's live, but I got to quick open tab. And it needs it here. Go in it. Okay, so that one's working. That's what I wanted to know. That one's working. That one's working. That's back up. Good. Everything's back up now. All right. All right. Let's get back into it.
Many actors in similar situations handle such matters more gracefully. Now, with all of these moments stacked against her, Ziegler remains a polarizing figure. Fans and critics alike are left wondering if Disney will ultimately cut ties with the actress, or if the company will weather the storm and proceed as planned. Speaking of Disney, the company's efforts to mitigate the Snow White drama continue to backfire. Recently, they released a new trailer, only to pull it down shortly after its debut. The original trailer garnered over 1.4 million dislikes, and the company may have been trying to avoid another wave of backlash. However, the decision to yank the new teaser sparked its own round of speculation. Adding fuel to the fire, leaked set photos from 2022 revealed a controversial reimagining of the Seven Dwarfs. Instead of the traditional portrayal by actors with dwarfism, Disney opted for a diverse group of performers of varying heights and body types, prompting accusations of pandering to political correctness. Disney later confirmed the changes, explaining they consulted with the dwarfism community to avoid perpetuating stereotypes. But the damage was already done. At this point, many are openly rooting for the evil queen rather than Snow White, with some saying the villain looks more compelling than the film's protagonist. Even former Disney Imagineers have criticized the project, with some suggesting the studio should skip a theatrical release and drop the film on Disney Plus to avoid further embarrassment. Joe Rogan even weighed in, echoing this sentiment. "It might be better for Disney to just release this on Disney Plus and avoid the backlash," he said. While it's a bold statement, it's one that increasingly makes sense as the negativity around the film grows. So, what's next for Disney and Rachel Zegler? Will they finally part ways, or will the company continue to double down on its choices, hoping the storm will eventually pass? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. We've got plenty of juicy stories lined up, so stay tuned for more.
All right. We'll post this one. Open a new tab.
Every time we check in on Disney's upcoming Snow White remake, somehow things get even worse than they were before. This is a production that went off the rails a long time ago, which is quite an achievement if you think about it. With all the money and technology we have in 2024, somehow Disney is struggling very hard to match the quality of a film from the 1930s. At first, there were the leaked images of the actors playing the Seven Dwarves, which weren't dwarves at all because that would be culturally insensitive. So instead, Disney replaced the dwarves with a diverse array of magical hobos. Then, when everyone pointed out that the dwarves are kind of important to the story, Disney delayed the production, fired all the actors playing the magical hobos, replaced them with CGI dwarves, which didn't look particularly convincing, but at least they were better than the actors. So some progress was made, I suppose. Goodwill was restored to a degree. Then the star of the film, Rachel Zegler, proceeded to light all that goodwill on fire. She made it clear that she thinks the story of Snow White is actually very creepy and misogynistic. She said Disney was basically going to throw out the old story, get rid of the prince, make a film that supposedly empowers women, and that means downplaying the whole romance thing, which was the whole point of the story. Hiring the Barbie screenwriter and going full-on girl boss was the plan. Then a short clip of the film surfaced online, and we saw exactly what a girl boss Snow White looks like. The clip showed Snow White directing the dwarves to clean their own cottage for her as she instructs them to whistle while they work. Yes, the dwarves come home from a long day at the mines, and they're met by a bossy, unpleasant woman telling them to clean up. Doesn't even help them in this version, which is a pretty big change from the original. She also doesn't seem remotely grateful that they're giving her a place to stay when she desperately needs it. Instead, she just sings along and watches the dwarves do all the work, almost sadistically, really. And once again, as you'd expect, this footage caused a backlash, and Disney quickly had it scrubbed from the internet. Then a couple of months ago, Disney uploaded this teaser for the film. This was their big moment to win back the fans. Here's just a quick part of it.
So, whistle while you work.
So the whole thing has this kind of uncanny valley vibe to it, and pretty much all the comments are negative. Well, just going through some of them. These are the top comments in order. By the way, I'm not cherry picking. This is just the top comments. Here's what they say. Quote, "This is actually hilarious. The first Snow White saved Disney. The second ruined it." Another says, "What's the point of doing a live action remake of an animated movie if you're just going to animate half the characters anyway?" Then there's this one, quote, "It's okay, Disney. You can just cancel the film. We won't be mad if you admit defeat." There are a few people who point out that the trailer has more than 1 million dislikes on YouTube and fewer than 100,000 likes. This information that YouTube hides, but it's still accessible apparently. Comments go downhill from there. One reads, "Wow, Disney, you truly are incredible. It took you 3 years, multiple rewrites, unnecessary CGI, $209 million just for me to enjoy a comment section of a movie I will never watch. Bless you." Then someone writes, "I'm rooting for the poison apple." So you get the idea. Everything about this film is an unmitigated disaster. Even their teaser trailers are bombing. After all this, if there are any adults left at Disney, you'd think they'd be in damage control mode at this point. Maybe they can't control how bad this film is going to be. Maybe they can't improve the CGI on the dwarves anymore. Way too late for script rewrites. Costs a lot of money, and they're probably well over budget at this point. But at a minimum, you'd think that they could at least say, tell Rachel Zegler to stop talking like a deranged left-wing activist just for a little bit, just until the movie comes out. That might mitigate some of the potential future damage for this film, which is somehow already getting even worse press than Joker 2 and not even out yet. You know, we talk a lot about putting our money where our values are. Let me tell you about my cell phone company, Pure Talk, and why I made the switch. Pure Talk is veteran-led, and they don't just talk about supporting our veterans. They actually do something about it. They've already alleviated $10 million in veteran debt. But apparently telling Rachel Zegler to behave normally just isn't an option either. So the other day, in response to the presidential election, Zegler had a very public meltdown on her Instagram stories. She wrote, quote, "F you, Donald Trump." Then she proceeded to insult the 75 million Americans who voted for him, quote, "I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leading us towards a world I do not want to live in." Yeah, you always got to love starting with F you and then ending with, complaining about all the hatred in the world. Of course, if Zegler doesn't want to live in America anymore, she's free to leave. She certainly has the resources to do that. But she seems to suggest that Donald Trump will make the entire world uninhabitable, which, is kind of a new one. Actually, it's not entirely new. It reminds me of 2016 when Cher declared that she would have to leave the planet if Donald Trump won. And she never left, strangely enough, although she kind of looks like she did. And ironically, if she wants to leave the planet now, Elon Musk is probably her best bet, which raises its own complications, I guess. So these celebrities are really running out of options.
Oh,
But
I think you'd help.
Zegler wasn't done there. Her post added that Trump is, quote, "leading us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in, leading us towards a world that will force her to have a baby she doesn't want, leading us towards a world that is fearful." She stated that, quote, "the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forwards. This loss should not have been, and it certainly should not have been by so many votes. May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace." Now, what's amusing about this, of course, is that it's pretty clear that Zegler is the one who doesn't know peace. She's obviously an emotionally unstable basket case who has no idea how to process the fact that none of her paranoia is based in reality, and the vast majority of Americans don't agree with her political views. So instead of coming to terms with her own faults and misconceptions, she says that she wants Trump supporters to suffer emotionally just as she does every single day. Misery loves company, as they say. In further examples of projection, Zegler went on to state that Trump voters are part of a, quote, deep, deep sickness in this country. She added, quote, "There's no help, no counsel in any of them," whatever that means exactly. Then she told all of her fans to delete their X accounts, charging that Elon Musk helped get that man elected. This is a bit of an aside, but this is a common trend now on the left. They're suddenly abandoning X now that Trump has won. The Guardian just announced that it's going to stop posting its articles on X. For one example, ex-CNN anchor Don Lemon, along with a random NYU professor named Jay Rosen, did the same thing. I just saw this morning, Joy Reid has also deleted her X account. What a tragedy. This is a platform that until Election Day, these people claimed was a cesspool of fringe ideas and radical beliefs, but they remained on it anyway. Now that the election has proven that X is actually representative of mainstream thought in America, suddenly they can't tolerate it anymore. They have to abandon the platform. Doesn't really make any sense. You can only conclude that the left is simply incapable of realizing that they're the ones who are far outside the mainstream. When they're confronted with that evidence, they can't process it. So they have to scamper away. They're just totally humiliated. In any event, Rachel Zegler is not capable of experiencing humiliation, so she has no problem telling her supporters to abandon X entirely. She also has no problem going on an unhinged rant against more than half the country, including a lot of people that presumably Disney would like to sell tickets to. Many of those Republican voters are in the target audience for the Snow White remake. They're the people who like these kinds of traditional stories. They're the people who are having kids. These are the kinds of people Disney needs to show up if the movie is going to be remotely profitable. And now the star of the film is telling them all to go to hell. Now, one of the many ironies here is that about a year ago, Disney CEO Bob Iger said the company would stop getting involved in these political fights. He said that they wouldn't push any kind of agenda. He said they'd quiet the noise and proceed with decency and respect for their audience. Well, I guess so much for that. Now, according to the star of Disney's upcoming marquee film, 75 million Americans are horrible people who should suffer for all eternity. The other remarkable aspect to this is that Disney, as you may recall, fired Gina Carano for her allegedly controversial social media post just a couple of years ago. And, you know, Gina Carano never did anything remotely like what Rachel Zegler has done. Gina mocked the idea of wearing masks and preferred pronouns, which makes sense because wearing masks and preferred pronouns are both really dumb ideas. And she pointed out that totalitarian governments make citizens hate one another, which is true. History proves that's true. And for all this, Disney fired her. And her talent agency dropped her on top of it. Gina Carano did not personally attack tens of millions of people. She didn't berate her own fan base. She didn't say that half of the people who watch Star Wars are bad people. She didn't say that. Instead, she articulated views that the vast majority of Americans agree with. So why is she still involved in litigation with Disney to get her job back while Rachel Zegler is the face of the company's upcoming blockbuster film? Now, we all know the answer to that question. Disney, despite what its CEO says, is an explicitly political operation. But more than that, they're vengeful. Even though it's clearly not helping them financially, they can't hide their disdain for tens of millions of Americans. That's very bad news for Disney shareholders and everyone else hoping that this company might one day return to what it once did, which is to create entertaining family films that normal people want to watch. It's virtually guaranteed the Snow White remake is going to continue crashing and burning over the next few months like a slow-moving train wreck. And especially now, after this was the nail in the coffin, now that you've insulted more than half of the people you would need to come watch this movie. And that is why, once again, Disney, their new Snow White film, and Rachel Zegler herself are all today canceled. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.
We'll post that. All right, hold on. Okay, yeah, there it is. Go ahead and close this. Let's check. Oh, there we go. We'll follow back. It's a bot, more than likely. Which one did they like? Oh, that was a good one too. All right. Back. Let's see if that's a bot. 2024 and nothing else. Yeah, that's a bot. Okay. Yeah. We got these. We got these. This is what we're going through right now. You know what? I don't think I need to bitch more about this. Everybody knows this woman's unhinged. Oh, let's check out her channel. One year ago. 2 years ago. Wow, she stopped posting on here at least a year ago. Thinks we should click on them and start. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to subscribe. But I am going to do one other thing. I'm going to share this account so everybody can put thumbs down on it. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Share channel. I'm not going to do it. I was going to, but I changed my mind. Just a pain to do it. Don't need this. Refresh. Go ahead and head out. Hit refresh. There we go. What the? Everyone hates her. No light drama. Worst movie ever. Shouldn't defend this woman. Okay. Ooh. Open a new tab. Do this epic pic.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest one of all?
Let's see. Excuse me. Your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you? Spare me your white savior complex. I don't need anything from someone like you.
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
I'm really sorry. I was just trying to be kind.
Kind? If you want to be kind, disappear and take the patriarchy with you. Seriously, go away, stalker. You're weird. Weird.
My queen, you're the fairest, but no longer the most evil.
Wait, what? Magic mirror.
You're the fierce, but no longer the most evil. Gotta love it. That type deserves a post. That got a thumbs up for me, definitely. Let's see. How is he going against it? All right. So, yeah, I think we're done with the for today. I need to find a video game I can play. All right, folks. I'm going to end it here. Uh if we didn't have the problem earlier, I probably wouldn't be ending it right now, but since it's pretty much done at this point, I've been through it so many times over the last couple days. I'm just gonna end the stream here, and I hope you come back and enjoy. I gotta find an actual game to play.